Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm joined today by a very special guest. I have CubsFanHan. Cubs, thank you so much for joining me.
You bet. Thanks for having me on your channel. It's great to finally be here.
Yeah, I've done a few videos on Cubs' channels. He does awesome videos. They're a lot of fun and he has some great knowledge, so definitely make sure to check out his channel. But today we have kind of a different type of video for you. So we want to talk about kind of the slang and the lingo that we throw around this game. So we have a lot of like terms and abbreviations that we say. So we wanted to kind of talk about some of those, and this is probably most useful for a new player, but I think that there will be some things on this list that even a veteran player will kind of learn and not know.
Or
so
they can at least come and laugh about it with us.
Yes.
Because we have our own language here. My wife always laughs when she listens to me record my videos. She says it's like you're talking in Chinese or something. I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, I've had some friends that when they find out I have a YouTube channel, they watch my videos and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
Hey, that's good for you. No idea what you said, but you do you.
All right. So let's kick it off. I want to start with something that I knew because of my work. But I think this is when you said that you didn't know when you started playing the game, and this is RNG. So, and RNG is huge in this game, and we'll say RNG, we'll say pray to RNGesus. So RNG is random number generation, and this is everything that's random in the game.
Yep.
It determines whether your debuff lands, who the AI targets, all that kind of stuff is this by random number generation. So when you started playing the game, you didn't realize what RNG meant, right? And everyone's just always saying this word RNG.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm a bit of a rookie to gaming, actually. I mean, I've played games. I've always gamed, but I was never that serious about it, so to speak. And for some reason, until I played Galaxy Heroes, I never paid much attention to what RNG even meant, and I think I made it about a year into this game before I finally just asked and said, "What are you talking about? Like, what does this mean?" And then I was like, "Wow, it all makes sense. It's it's the random number generator." So
yeah,
and yeah, now I feel like I give my daily offering to RNGs myself every day.
You got to make your daily prayer. All right.
Yeah, especially when that Zeta challenge is out there, you gotta make a few sacrifices. Make sure you get your Zetas.
All right, so if you're opening a raid and you announce FFA, what are you announcing to your guild?
Free for all.
Free for all. So you just
no
go
rules,
for it.
Just go ham.
I don't think that we can define ham. Hard as a
Mother Talzin. Hey, that works. Hard as a Mother Talzin. She's hard to attack.
That's kind of related to another word that we use a lot, and this didn't come from Star Wars. This is another old gaming term, that's Zerg. Were you familiar with the term Zerg before you started this game?
No, and I'm going to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure what Zerg even means. I see it used, so you know what? Educate me right now. What does Zerg mean?
So what I've heard...
I've got no shame.
What I've heard is it's an old, I think, Warcraft term.
That's why. I definitely never played Warcraft.
I know my experience with Warcraft is watching my brother play and clicking randomly a few times.
People who play Warcraft are like, they just click so fast.
And that's kind of what Zerg means. Zerg just means like, just go at it, just throw everything, go hard, kind of go ham is kind of
So kind of
Zerg.
like if you're playing Mortal Kombat, you're just like hammering on your controller over and over again.
Yeah.
See, that makes sense to me because that's a game I did play.
Okay. There are lots of other kind of like acronyms. There's a lot of acronyms in this game because we're all kind of lazy. We acronym every single character that we possibly can, and we acronym every single game mode. There's CM for combat missions, BM for battle missions, although the first time I saw BM in game chat, I just started giggling like, why are you talking about pooping? TW for territory war, dark side and light side TB. Those are terms that we throw around in our video a lot. Like a lot. This is a good one. I think there's some arena terms that we use a lot in our videos. What's an arena term that you get a lot of people asking what it means or that people are confused about?
a lot of times, and I forget that some people don't know what an arena shard is referring to. And when I first started the game, I didn't realize, I kind of thought that everyone was on the same arena server, meaning when you were ranked 1000th, you were 1000 over the whole game. That's what I thought when I first started. I was ignorant, you know. A shard is referring to different servers. Every arena has like, what, 3,000 or so. I don't know what the actual number is. I don't know how far it goes, but it's a couple thousand members on it based on when you started the game, and there's just hundreds of thousands probably of arena servers, and people call them shards as well. So there's character shards that you get to bring your characters to 7 stars, and then there's your arena shard, which is basically just the group of guys and gals you play the game with that are in your arena.
I've always found that really confusing that we have character shards and that they chose to use that word for your arena group. That was always very confusing to me.
Yeah, honestly, I don't know why it's called shard. Maybe somebody can tell me, but do you know?
Put it in the comments if you know. Write in the comments what shard.
Please. Why did we choose shard when we already have character shards? Why can't we just say arena server? But that's what we say.
Yeah, it's one less syllable.
Yep.
When we recorded those videos at EA that hopefully are coming really soon, but we had to be really careful about the terminology that we used. And I think one of the terms that you start realizing how much of this there is, and that's when I got this idea. But one of the terms, at least that I kept tripping over and forgetting, I think we ended up defining on one of the videos, is meta. How would you define meta?
So you have to be careful when you define meta, because
that's why I gave it to you.
Everybody has a different definition, and it kind of launches into a debate, because somebody may look at meta as something different, and then you get into a big fight, and I don't like that. But meta, in my view, it's the most efficient team that can get you to the top. It's usually going to be the most used. It's going to be very strong. It's going to be kind of the mainstream. What's in, what's popular, what works, that kind of thing. Yeah, that's how I see it. That what's in. When you say most efficient, do you mean like it takes the least amount of battles to get to the top? Not necessarily, but maybe just the team that wins the easiest, perhaps. I don't know.
Okay.
Less effort, so maybe less battles to the top, but so that kind of brings defense into play. How far do you have to go? Yeah, I don't know. It's a tricky term. I mean, if you really try to define what meta is, because right now I feel like if we look at the meta, I'm doing an anti-meta series I just launched, where I'm looking at all of these teams that use characters that aren't traditionally in the meta that can beat the meta. And so people are asking me, like, well, what is the meta? What is Commander Luke the meta? Is Rey the meta? Does Mother Talzin count in that discussion? Does Rex still count in that discussion? And it's like, I think so. I think a lot of these characters do. It's kind of a broad definition, so it's tricky. It's definitely subjective and up for debate.
Yeah. Let's talk about some tunes, what is a tune? This was the word that really tripped me up when I first started getting into Galaxy Hero forums and everything. I was like, what the heck is a tune? I thought it was like characters that were from the Clone Wars, because it was a cartoon series, but then I learned that they're everyone, and I was like, why are they calling them tunes? Is it because they're cartoony? I don't understand why they're called tunes.
Maybe. But I think, and that's kind of universal gaming, kind of like RNG. That's
really?
Not unique too. Yeah, I've seen that used in other games, similar styles. I know I've seen, in particular, I'm on a Discord server for Marvel Strike Force, which is a game coming out soon that I'm interested in. Although, like Mobile Gamer, I'm not stoked at all about the arena mechanic. That's neither here nor there. But they're referring to those characters as tunes over there, and I know a number of other games have referred to characters in the and maybe it's because they're cartoons, they're animated. I don't know. I don't know.
I guess.
Why do we do what we do? These are the questions of life. This is really a meaning of life video. Why do we do this?
All right. So when a tune does AOE, what does that mean?
Area of effect, and that's probably the one that tripped me up as well. I think RNG and AOE were the main two that I was like, what? And even my brother, who's in my guild right now, I remember him and me had a conversation on the side. We're like, oh, hey, this is what this means, so let's not tell anyone that we didn't know. But it basically, it's some people will call it a splash attack, or some kind of ability that affects all characters that you're going against at once, whether it's
not
2, whether it's 5, whether it's 6, in you know, in some of those dark side, light side battles. So yeah, it's area effect. It applies to everything that you're attacking.
Okay. What would be a glass cannon?
I don't know.
Do you know this one?
I don't know this one.
Cool. Okay. A glass cannon.
Let me learn.
Is someone like the OG Han or Leia or Scavenger Ray.
That makes sense. Somebody who
It's
hits
where
hard, but it's
they
really
hit
squishy.
hard. They have a lot of DPS. This is a 2-for-1 damage per second. They hit really hard, but they are very, very fragile.
Okay.
So the opposite of a tank.
Yeah, Han is the perfect example. Princess Leia.
Yeah.
Great example.
Oh, this could be a 3-for-1. They have a lot of DPS, but they're very squishy.
What does squishy mean?
Squishy means that
it means they're cute. You can grab them and go, ooh, they're squishy.
You just squeeze them and they die.
Just squeeze them. They're like little porgs. Give them a hug.
And then the opposite of that would be what we call it, or what I hear a lot is a tune that hits like a wet noodle. And this would be like Royal Guard, Barris, Old Ben. They're very tanky. They give a lot to your team, but you go to attack and they're like, eh. They just, like,
or they're Ugnaught and they're both. They're squishy and they're a wet noodle. Those exist. Cup.
Yes.
Squishy wet noodle. Cup is, of course, our underworld.
Squishy wet noodle. That sounds so gross.
They're gonna have to label this as explicit.
Oh man. All right. What about dots and hots? Dots.
Dots are damage over times, so you're gonna see that referred to a lot with Zader, because he applies a lot of dots. Some other characters can as well, but it's just damage. What is it for dots? It's at the start of each turn, then damage is dealt.
Yeah.
For that character that has a dot, and you can have stacking dots.
And hots is heal over time.
Yep.
So same opposite concept. All right. Let's do a couple more and then we can wrap it up. So we have been doing this a lot because the meta, as we now know what it is, the meta is kind of stagnant around Luke and Rey. And so we've been talking a lot about the mirror match. So tell everyone what a mirror match is.
You're going to have to help me on this one because I actually don't see that. I don't see that used.
Oh, really?
So,
yeah. I keep hearing it and people asking how to win the mirror match or things that are only happening in the mirror match.
Maybe it's a Republic thing.
My community is just weird. The mirror match is when you have the same team fighting each other. So Rey versus Rey, Luke versus Luke.
Sure, that makes sense.
This is one I should probably say because I know it's not that big in your community, but 630K, those pop up a lot. And there's kind of like videos on their own of how to do them and what they are. But basically they're referring to tickets. Your daily tickets, you can get up to 600. They come from energy spent, not the daily challenge. And if all 50 members of your guild get your 600, then you have 30,000 or 30K. So this is a Republic thing, but when we get 30K, we post dancing GIFs in the main cantina of like stormtroopers getting down. And it's just like our 30K party.
Nice.
So if anyone's ever in the Republic Cantina and they're like, why are all these dancing gifts about 30K? That's why. It's the little things. All right. Are there any other terms that you think that people need to know, they need an explanation for?
I think we covered a lot. I think we covered a lot of the basics. There's a lot of different character abbreviations.
Yeah.
But if we covered those, we'd be here all night because literally every character has one. I mean, if we're giving abbreviations to like the worst characters in the game, i.e. Cup, then a lot are gonna have them. So I'd say if you're ever unaware, just ask your guild.
Yeah, and I'll make a graphic and I'll list all that. Otherwise, we'll be sitting here like JKA is Jedi Knight Anakin, Hoda is Hermit Yoda, and we'd be here for an
I thought JKA was just kidding. No.
What's the A for?
Just kidding.
Aardvark.
Andy.
You just revealed your name.
You heard it here first.
Andy! His name's Andy. Everyone go find him. He's a Cubs fan, and his name's Andy.
Believe it or not, my birth name is not Cubs fan. This does surprise a lot of people, but it's true. It's true.
It gets a bit confusing when I refer to you as Cubs, but
yeah,
I'm not lazy.
You know, it's funny because we know each other's real names, but when Crazy Nukin and I were at EA, we didn't call each other by our real names. We told each other, we're like, well, here's our real names. Okay, cool, but I never called you by your first name.
Yeah, you're in my phone as Cubs.
Yeah, you're in my phone as Crazy, Nukin's in my phone as Nukin.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you so much for joining us on this video. I hope you learned something, and if we forgot anything, make sure to leave it in the comments. And
Absolutely.
Definitely check out Cubs' channel. This guy makes great content, so make sure to check him out. Cubs, thank you so much for joining me. And
hey, it was awesome to be on your channel, Crazy. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, let's do it again soon. And I'll see you all on the next video.